So good evening all. Welcome you to this session of creating dashboard in Excel. Uh, we are going to create a dynamic dashboard and this is what the dashboard is looking like. We are going to create something like this. So for this, we have the data with us, that is the HR data. So it's basically a HR department data of a company. It has 11 columns and 1470 rows. So basically, we are going to learn how to analyze our data which is spread across the rows and columns, lengthy data, and how we can make this data look interesting by this kind of a visual, right? So nowadays, Tableau, Power BI, all these different softwares are used to calculate the to represent the data, but in Excel also we can create this kind of visuals. So that is what we are going to learn. Okay, so now first I will just explain because some people have joined today. So what I will do is I will just quickly recall or revise what we did yesterday. So we have this data. We'll just have a look over the data. So we have attrition. Attrition means the number of employees leaving the organization. So we have the HR data, and in this we are going to see how many people have left the organization. So we have the yes and no. Then we have the attrition count. So we put a formula over here, a if function basically, to find out like how many people left the organization and how many are still there. So if the attrition is yes, then it will be converted to one, else zero. Then we already had the age band, like what is the age group people belong to. Then sales, the department, different departments, sales, R&D, and HR are the three departments. Then education field, like what are the education of the people working in the organization, gender, job role, what role they are doing in their organization, age of the participants, the employees. Then we have the current employee count, like those who have left has a zero, those who are still with the organization, they have given one. Then the what is the education qualification, job satisfaction, monthly income, and attrition by male and attrition. This also we had calculated using a count function. So count if we have used, so because there are two conditions, that if the attrition is yes and the gender is male, then we want to find out how many people have left the organization which are male and how many people have left the organization those who are female, right? So that is what we are going to do today in this session, and let's begin here. So now what I'm going to exactly do is I'm going to show you how to create this dashboard. So first step in creation of dashboard is to create pivot tables. So I have noted down all the requirement over here in this sheet. And what we are going to do is we are going to create all these pivot tables. So first is employee count, attrition rate, active employees, average age. These five factors we can work out without a pivot table because they are simple formulas or functions we need to use in this. So that is what we are going to do now. And second, there are different requirements that we are going to do. So department wise attrition, number of employees by age group, job satisfaction ratings, and education field by attrition rate by different age groups. So these are basically the parameters that we are looking at. We want updated sheet. Okay, so let me share the updated one. Just a minute, give me one moment. Okay, so I'm sharing the file in the on the desktop on the chat box. You can download it and you can use it. Just give me one moment. If you have any questions or queries, you can write in the chat box. I will be covering all of the queries at the end of the session or wherever required.
तो आदमी बैठा हुआ है
Okay, so I've shared the file again in the chat box. You can see that you can download it and use it for the session. I'm sharing my screen again, and we are going to continue from where we left. So now you will see again the data on the screen, and is my screen visible? Can you just reply in the chat box if the screen is visible? I hope the screen is visible. Can anyone reply in the chat box with a yes? Okay.
Yes, sir.
ओके ग्रेट सो नाउ करना क्या है हमारे पास ये डैशबोर्ड हमें बनाना है वी हैव टू क्रिएट दिस काइंड ऑफ डैशबोर्ड इन एक्सेल so basically if you see how this dashboard is created basically it is an image okay it is an image but we have to create a layout first so I have created a layout you can see the grid lines are there and there's a background so what we can do is we can put some text over here on this image and whatever numbers we have calculated we will give reference of these numbers on the cell okay so how we can introduce a text over the layout so you go to insert in the insert on the right hand side you will see the text box okay and you can drag this text box and you can start typing in it basically so we are seeing HR analytic dashboard okay and you can bring it into center you can increase the size of this make it bold also okay so and we can increase the size of the layout also okay so basically what we are learning is how to customize our dashboard because we have already seen how to find the values today we are going to do this customization also this is my dashboard title if I want to put any color in the background I can put the color also so depending on your creativity you can uh, make it more attractive and look good okay so this is basically a HR analytics dashboard. We are going to see the numbers which are belonging to HR department of any organization, right? And now we are going to put some more figures here. Okay, so those who have joined today, what we did yesterday was we had calculated all these figures in a sheet. So the first requirement is the key performance indicators that is employee count, attrition rate, employee active employees and average age. All these figures we could find out. You want the image once again. Okay. So I'm sharing the image again in the chat box. HR analytics. Um, So this is the final outcome that we want. You want me to share the layout also? I can share that layout also. Okay, so I've shared the background. Yeah, I have shared a PPT. It has the background image. You can download it from there. Okay, so both the files are shared in the chat box. Now, what we are going to see is how to put these figures. So employee count. Employee count was nothing but the total number of employees present in the organization. So that we have used, for that we have used count A. So count A is the formula which is used to calculate the number of employees. So we have given the reference of the table 1 and attrition column. So if you see, if I go to the HR data, the first column is attrition. Attrition means the number of people leaving the organization. So if I click on yes, if I do apply filter, and if I filter the data on number of yes, if I count it, it comes to 237. You can see on the down, you can see the number 237. That means 237 people have left the organization. So what we have done is we have applied the formula of count A, and we have counted the number of people who have left the organization, and the total number of employees. If you see the total number, if you want to see, then it is 1470. The total number is 1470. You can see here the number is 1470. So here also we are getting the same number, right? So from the data, we have extracted some meaningful information using functions, basic functions in Excel. These are very basic functions. Second is the attrition count. In the attrition count, I have applied the formula of count if. So count if is applied whenever there are conditions in the data. So there were two conditions, that if the attrition is yes, then give me the number of the people who have left the organization. So that is, I've used count if. Third one was attrition rate, the rate of employee leaving the organization. So it was the attrition count divided by total number of total number of employees, right? Then active employees will be what? Employee count minus attrition count. Employee count and minus attrition count, right? And after that, what we have is the average age. So average age, we just apply the formula of average over here, and you can see that average age is the average of the age column in the table 1. What is table 1? This entire data is called as table 1. So if you click on this, and if you see in the name box, you will see table 1. So this entire data is called as table 1, and this from this we have chosen the age column. So if you click on this age column, and if you just scroll down towards the right hand side, you will see some variables over here, and the average age is coming to be 36.92. So in round figure, it is 37. So that is how I have calculated these numbers. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy all this into the dashboard layout. So I will select all these text from here, Control C, copy, and we'll go to the dashboard layout. And here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one more text box. So I can just copy this one only for the ease and convenience. I have just created a copy of this, and now I want all these numbers to appear over here. So what I'm doing is I'm just copying it over here, right? So this is what I have copied over here. We can change the background color of this particular bar so that it is different, gets differentiated with the previous one. So this is what we are going to use, and the color we are going to use a dark blue color, so it look good. Yeah. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paste what I have copied from the sheet 2. So I'm going to paste all these headings over here. Sorry, this is what we had copied this one. So I will delete this. Again, we need to copy all the headings from the pivot table sheet. So we will copy all this. And what we can do is we can simply paste it in the transpose manner. So paste spatial, and we will paste it in the transpose manner. So we will select transpose. This is transpose. And now everything will come in one row, right? We can see that the numbers are in one row. There are some gaps in between. I will just remove these gaps. Okay, so what we are doing is basically we are putting we are putting them together so that we can copy and paste it in the dashboard title. So today I'm going to design the dashboard also along with the calculations. So the ultimate objective is to create the dashboard only, right? So what I have done is I have put them all together. Now I can copy it and paste it in the layout here. So you'll double click on this, you will go inside the tab and you can paste it. Okay. You see that they are appearing very small. So we can increase the font size from here, make it bigger. And I think 24 is what is looking good to me. 24 looks good. And we can include some manual spaces in between. Okay. Okay. Now, yes. So now, after once we have done this, now what we have to do is we have to take the numbers. We have to bring the numbers over here. So now there are two methods of doing it. What you can do is you can give the cell reference over here. So sorry, we can put a enter. I'm here and let me come to the left alignment. I am putting a equals to sign and I am giving a reference to the cell over here. So if you move to the top, this is the number that we want. We need to put it in the formula bar so that it takes the reference from here. So pivot table, and this is what I want. Enter. Is overwriting this entire thing. So we'll do one thing. We will insert one more row. So this is one row basically, and then what we are going to do is we are going to create a copy of this and paste it below this, because the reference will not will overwrite what is already written in the cell. So what I need to do is I need to create different boxes for each reference. So this is the employee count, and this will look good also. It look better. So employee count, we can create different boxes over here, and we can paste one each at one place. Okay. It's a very time taking process, but the result is magnificent. Okay. The result is good. Obviously, all the good things take time to build, but the outcome is great. So you have to be little bit patience, and you can practice it along. You have the data set. So yeah, yeah. Okay, so I have put these columns over here. Now what I will do is I will put a number in each column. So is equal to, and you need to give the reference to this cell, and it will show 1470 over here, right? Now we can increase the size of this by going to the font section again and making it bigger, and control V, and you can even change the color to maybe we don't want to change the fill color, or you can maybe make it blue and you can make this number white. Okay, so this is the employee count. Then we want the attrition count. So you keep your cursor over here, then go to the formula bar, put a equals to sign, go to pivot table and take this number, give the reference of this number, and now what you see is 237.